Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Before we get started today, just to remind you guys, we are going to be raising the price on the Audacity Network subscriptions. Next month, I'm going to be having on the smart, intelligent, non-famous men that I know in my personal life, and you guys actually can ask them questions directly. It's going to be really cool. Some of them are very high earning in specific industries. I'm going to bring on my best employees to teach you guys things like graphic design, editing, production. If you guys have questions about that stuff, right now it's $100 a year. It's $10 a month. All you got to do is sign up now and you're in the program for life. But we are raising it in the next couple days. We're filming some content for Behind the Paywall. Whenever I finish that, the price is going up. So, join now because I'm telling you, the network that I've built the last 5 years will take you guys years to figure out. And that's all I'm going to say. I have smart, intelligent men that you guys really can learn from behind this paywall. So, okay. So when I first got into the red pill content, I think it was about 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. And as you guys know, one of the first videos that I saw was Kevin Samuel's High Value Men Cheat, and this triggered me a little bit. It really did. But one of the second or third or maybe fourth, I don't remember at this point, people that I saw was Donovan Sharp's content. And Donovan is a red pill content creator, and he had a course called, or a part of his channel called Womanese, and he would say, this is what women say, and this is what they actually mean. Now, at the time, guys, I got to be honest. I thought Donovan, come on, that is not right. He would say things like, for example, if she calls him an asshole, it means she wants to F him. And I thought that's not true. Maybe I just think he's an asshole, Donovan. That is totally untrue. Wrong. But then I did 1,000, I interviewed 1,000 women. And then I also observed myself, my friends, people I just knew's behavior over the years. And Donovan was one of those people that was just right about freaking everything. It was insane. He has a course and it's called Womanese, and the link to it's in the description if you guys want it. It amazed me that he was just like, I think he spent years dissecting this stuff. We're going to bring him on today. He's a friend of the show. And seriously, guys, when I first heard the content that he had, I thought he was making it up. I thought he was over exaggerating. And then 3 years later, I come back and I'm like, he is completely right. Welcome to the show, Donovan. I'm so happy to have you on.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. I can hear you loud and clear. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Listen, man, nothing makes me feel better than to hear someone say, "Donovan, you are right about everything."
No, because I'll tell you what. When I first, you don't realize how blue pill most relationships are. So that's the norm in America. And the red pill wasn't really mainstream back then. So some of the stuff you would say, I would think was an overreaction or it'd be kind of out there. And then time passed and I just thought, holy crap, Donovan knows his stuff. When it comes to what women say versus what they mean, there's no one that knows it better than you. Nobody.
Right. Well, and the reason why is because I have had many, many, many failures with women. And I tell this to my guys all the time. For every story that I have ever told about some big-breasted blonde that I, gamed, some one-night stand I had with a hot redhead or a brunette, there are 50 stories of absolute utter failure. And I think in life, and I think this goes with anything you do in life. I think you learn more from failure than you do from winning, right? Even in sports, like if you win, okay, great, we won. But when you lose, if you look at yourself with a critical eye, if you're honest with yourself, you will learn a lot more, during your losses than your wins. For example, let's just say Stephen Curry, right? Greatest
Mm.
shooter ever. He shoots a bunch of threes. Stephen Curry has missed more 3-pointers than he's ever taken, but with every miss, he learns a little bit more about what to do, what not to do, and on any particular technique. And so over the years, Stephen Curry has sort of honed his craft, and it's not really knowing what to do, it's knowing what not to do. We all know, hey, in order to shoot, you play basketball, Pearl. In order to
Yeah.
shoot, you put the ball over your head and you let it go. But there are certain things you can do, like spreading your fingers across the basketball, the way you aim with your eye, the way you aim for spot 6 inches before the basket. That increases the odds of it going in. The arc of the ball, you shoot it a little higher, so it has more of a chance to go in. Well, the same thing goes on the dating market. If you go out and you approach, I don't know, let's just say 10 girls, and they all blow you out, they all reject you, instead of getting into your feelings, which is very easy to get because rejection is not easy to get used to, but it's a lot easier for men to get used to. But instead of just she rejected me, blah 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 blah, you have to think to yourself, okay, what did I say? What did she say? She told me that she had a boyfriend, but she told me she had a boyfriend like 3 seconds after I approached her, right? And so I wondered why, when I kept trying, she told me, hey, look, I told you I had a boyfriend. Whereas you approach another girl and you're talking to her for 10-15 minutes, and then she tells you that she has a boyfriend. That's exactly what you're thinking. You're like, okay, is it really that she has a boyfriend? No, she told you that as a shit test, right? So the earlier in the set she tells you she has a boyfriend, the more likely it is that it's a rejection. If you learn these things and if you apply what you've learned and you go out and approach girls, you know that if you've been talking to a girl for 10-15 minutes and then she says she has a boyfriend, you know she's probably lying and she's saying that to throw you off the scent. And so that's really the main reason I created Womanese. Was to let guys know, hey, listen, this is what women say versus what they really mean.
And so how long did it take you from when you were a complete blue-pilled simp to to like how many years did it take you to
Oh my
figure
God.
all this out? Like I think it would help people to know like how many reps you had or how
Oh
many
my God,
approaches you
dude.
did, how many
God.
girl like what was
Oh,
your origin story? Because some people
oh my
might not know it here.
Yeah. So, oh my God. So, oh my goodness gracious. Well, to make a very, very long story very short, um, so the way I discovered the red pill is I had just gotten out of a really, really bad breakup.
Let
That's
me see
not
him.
the relationship that red pilled me. Got out of a bad breakup, moved to Atlanta for 6 months, decided I didn't want to live there. Then I moved out to Vegas. And so I got this call center telemarketing job, pardon me, because I'm really good at sales, I have a good speaking voice, et cetera, et cetera. Well, there was this Mexican girl who was attractive-ish. Looking back now, she probably wasn't as attractive as I thought she was at the time. And we really started to hit it off. And everyone said to themselves, okay, it's only a matter of time before Donovan and Martha, the girl's name, hook up. Well, of course, we hooked up, and we had this 3-week relationship. Well, 3 weeks into the relationship, it just clicked in my mind. I honestly stayed with her probably 2 weeks longer than I should have, just because I was getting regular sex, and it had been a while since I'd had sex with any girl
Mhm.
for any period of time. But she was a single mother. She had a bad kid. Her house was always messy. She was an absolute dumpster fire. So even then, I had the foresight to say, okay, let me just go and dump this girl. So I go over to her place and I dumped her face to face. I was like, hey, it's not going to work out. Blah 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 blah. And what shocked me was that she didn't seem surprised at all. She didn't take it as hard as I thought she was. I thought it was just going to be a bunch of trauma and a bunch of
So
crying.
you thought
But
she was
she
gonna
was like,
cry. Sorry.
but here's why I thought she was going to cry. This is my blue pill mind. Because a week and a half before, she told me she loved me. Now, I didn't tell her she loved me back, but I was like, no, there's no way this girl loves me because we've only been seeing each other for a week and a half. We haven't known each other that long. She's really just trying to reel me in. So I was a little bit shocked when I told her, all right, Martha, it's not working out. We need to go our separate ways. She was like, okay. Well, later on, I go home and, I'm doing my thing. And, a friend of hers calls me up. She's like, yeah, Martha just called and told me that, you are going your separate ways. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't working out, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, how's she doing anyway? Because again, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this was just a delayed reaction. She's like, yeah, actually, she's getting ready to go out on a date. And I was like, what? Going out on a date? Like I dumped this chick like an hour and a half ago. Why is she going out on a date? And so that right
That's
then and
so
there, after I got
funny.
off the phone with my friend, okay, I jumped on the internet and I typed in, why do girls get over breakups so easily? And that Google search changed everything. That was the genesis of Donovan Sharp. So that's the Reader's Digest version of how I got into the manosphere.
So I guess my question is though, from there, like, did it take you 1 year, 2 years? Because your Womanese is so detailed. Like
Mhm.
you go through everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I read it, I'm like, he must have spent years studying
Yeah.
this stuff. So how long did it take from point A to developing the course, I guess?
Lord, probably about a decade. Probably about a decade. I discovered the red pill in the summer of 2010. I came out with the Womanese course, incidentally enough, in 2021. And, listen, the good Lord, whoever he is, blessed me with a very good memory. And so, throughout my life, I just kind of reflect on all of the interactions that I've had with women, the conversations that I've had. And what I quickly began to discover after consuming enough red pill content is wait a minute, women are not really direct. They don't really say what it is that they actually mean. And the interesting thing, Pearl, is that a lot of men these days, we want women to be more direct. And let's be honest, if women were more direct, we wouldn't have to read between the lines with everything they say. But on the other side of that, if you deal with women on the regular, like I did for the better part of a decade, whether it's at work, your relationship, your family, anytime you deal with women, you can't actually really count on the fact that they are going to tell you exactly what they mean. And it sucks to not be able to take what they say at face value because it causes a lot of confusion and frustration, especially when you're dealing with them romantically. Now, the two main reasons why women aren't direct is number one, being verbally direct is seen as a masculine trait, right? It is a trait that is admired in men. When a woman is direct, what is she seen as? Bitchy, bossy,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, or a woman with a bad attitude a lot of times. A woman certainly won't, they don't want to be that way, right? So they generally avoid being direct when talking to people. The second reason women aren't direct is because it makes them look bad a lot of times. Here, give an example. If a woman is attracted to a guy and wants to sleep with him, she's not going to say, he's hot, I want to bang him. Obviously, that makes her look like a hoe. So instead, what she'll do is she'll make up something nebulous about him to give herself an excuse to be around him to sort of give herself the opportunity to make the sex happen. So, in other words, so instead of saying, well, I really like the guy, I want to bang him, she'll be like, you know what, Dave over there, I really like his energy. Translation, I want to bang him. But the way but the way modern women operate today, Pearl, and you experience this firsthand doing the pregame, interviewing 1,000 women, they use their indirectness as a way to play games with men, as a way to mislead men, and sometimes even flat out lie to men about what their intentions are. However, if you are familiar with the way women communicate in terms of what they say versus what they mean, you can pick up on this stuff rather quickly. And that, in large part, is the reason I created Womanese 101.
And is it frustrating to you when blue pill men, like I see them attack you all the time when you
Yeah.
are correct?
Yeah.
And it's like, do you think that blue pill men know that you're correct and they're just white knighting, or do you think they're ignorant and they think they're doing the
I,
right thing?
I think a lot of them are ignorant, and I think a lot of them are, caping up for their fair maidens. But you know what they always say: hit dogs holler, right? And
Yeah.
there are a lot of blue pilled men out here, Pearl, who probably low key know that most bitches out here really ain't shit. But they can't really they can't admit it to themselves or other people because then it destroys this rose colored view of who and what women really are. A lot of men would like for women to keep that allure and that mystery and that mystique about them, like they're these otherworldly creatures. But women, they burp, fart, and shit just like the rest of us. And the sooner men understand and recognize that women are really women, like there's no woman that is special. And I remember a long time ago, a really good friend of mine said, you know what, Donovan, women are people too. And that sort of let me know. And obviously women are people too, but a lot of men operate like women are these otherworldly, godly, and angelic like creatures.
Mhm.
But when you've been around them enough, just like you have, and you hear them communicate enough and you see what they say versus what they mean, for example, he's an asshole. Well, you know that if a woman says that a guy is an asshole in this day and age, she probably wants to bang him. She might really actually think he's an asshole, Pearl. But guess what? That doesn't mean that she doesn't still want to bang him. And a lot of times women will make sure that the asshole finds out that he called her an asshole. That's almost like an indirect shit test. I'm going to let Brad know that I called him an asshole indirectly. And if Brad comes over and hollers, then Brad must understand the way women really work. This is happening in their firmware. They're not doing this consciously. They're doing this subconsciously. And this is, and again, this is what woman, and the, you know, the Womanese 101 course, 625 different translations. 625. That's a lot of translations. Like I said, it took me 10 years to sort of aggregate all this stuff and put it together, but I'm very proud of it. I really am.
Well, and the other thing too that like kind of red pilled me was I'm sure you've seen this on Fresh and Fit. Whenever a guy and a girl, like a girl kept arguing with a guy, she's trying to sleep with him.
Oh yeah.
9 out of 10 times the cameras go off. She's talking to him after, and I'm like, you were just yelling at him 10 minutes ago.
Incredible. Dude,
you've reacted to so many. I'll show you some of the clips where the girl was trying to bang. And then I was like, we don't go for 10% of men or 20%. It's not that bad. And then there'd be like a single mother of 4 that's going for like this jacked god looking guy on the show. And I'm like, how do you not see you're a single mom of 4? How do you not see this guy is out of your league? Like,
well, obviously, the reason why she doesn't see that this guy is out of her league is because the world tells her never settle. You know, you deserve the best, no matter what your situation is. And the funny thing is there are a lot of men out here that are losers, right? We know who they are. We generally know what male losers look like. Lives with his mom, plays video games. He's out of shape, doesn't have any direction in life. No problem calling men losers. But we don't call women losers, right?
We don't.
And in my opinion, if you are a woman over the age of 30 and you are unmarried or not in a long-term relationship that is leading to marriage, you are a loser. Like that's just like if you are a woman and you do not procreate, you don't get married, you don't have any kids, you have failed in life. Okay. But not enough people call women losers. If you're a woman and you're a single mother of 4, you are a loser. And let's get this right. Single mothers decide to be single mothers. Okay. Birth control is the responsibility of the woman and not the man. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with that, but this is why single mothers are losers, because they indirectly chose to be single mothers. As soon as guys get the balls to understand and put it in their mind, you know what? If this woman is a loser, I'm going to deal with her this way. If this woman is not a loser, I'm going to deal with her in another way. And that's actually what Womanese helps men to sort of, decipher. Is the woman I'm talking to, is she a loser or is she a woman of potential quality?
Yeah. And the other thing too, that it drove, once I figured out that you guys were correct, I could not believe how, like, they put us on a DHS watch list.
Yeah.
And it's like, they do not want men getting this information. You guys would be too powerful, right?
No, listen, and the thing is this, man, it's like, if let's just say I were to make this provocative statement, like, women, all women are the color purple. Let's just say I just started a whole channel called The Color Purple, and all women are the color purple. Pearl, no one's coming after me. Would you like to know why?
Yeah.
Because there are no purple women walking around, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason why they attack the manosphere and the red pill is because what we talk about is correct. Hit dogs holler. If we were just talking bullshit and just making these outlandish statements that didn't make any sense whatsoever, we wouldn't be on any DHS watch list. But just like you said, they are actively trying to prevent men from having this information. Because I'll tell you something else too, Pearl. The U.S. economy, the simp economy, the U.S. economy depends upon men not being red pilled. Okay. Yeah. Let's just say for the sake of argument, let's just say 25% of the male population in America were actually red pill aware, not even living the red pill life. The economy would fall overnight.
Correct.
Okay. The U.S. economy relies on men not understanding what their value is as compared to the woman's value. We're always told to pedestalize the woman. The woman is valuable no matter what. And men don't really question these things because most of us have heard this stuff since the day we were born. Then guys like myself, Myron, Andrew Tate come along, and we give guys another perspective. And here's another thing, Pearl. We're not telling men anything they don't already know. Most men inherently understand that there is something wrong with the dating market. Most men inherently understand, they know that a woman who sleeps around is not a woman who is attractive for a long-term relationship. And there's so many men that are in this battle. This is what my firmware is telling me, but this is also what the world is telling me. And 9 times out of 10, the world wins because it's all around them. But when guys like myself come along and we make these statements, guys are like, oh, yeah, you know what? That is right. I remember I was in a situation, or my buddy was in a situation, or my brother, or my cousin, or my uncle was in a situation. One thing leads to another, and you end up finding websites like ours. And so, like I said, what Womanese really aims to do is it aims to sort of lift the veil on this mystique of women. This doesn't mean that we're trying to make women look bad. Guys, women are neither good nor bad. They just are. Women are like water. They take the shape of the container that they're put in. Right now the container is fucked up, so women are fucked up. And so guys like me exist too. We're not going to save everybody. We get that. But if we can save enough people, then maybe we can make the world a better place. Who knows?
Yeah, if enough men were red pill aware, I think there would just be single mothers everywhere.
Yep, there probably would be. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of guys would just do nail and bales
yeah.
and yeah, they wouldn't take them seriously.
Before we get into the womanese, I wanted to get your take on a tweet that I had that
Let's
everyone
go.
was white knighting
Oh
for.
no. Oh
So
my
I
god.
tweeted, and all I tweeted was something that a private investigator told me. I did not say this. A private investigator told me, and I tweeted this. I said, a private investigator told me to baseline assume that women are sleeping with two men at a time. And that's
Oh
not that's not
yeah.
my words.
Nope.
And so I got a ton of reactions. Like one of them did an essay. It's saying you're conflating. It's just black women that do that. It's just
Oh
you're
my
just
god.
around. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I've seen hoes of all races. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then there was other one saying, well, of course, that's what the private investigator is going to say. That's like going to a divorce attorney about marriage advice, or what the state of
Right.
marriage is like. And this got over 1 million views, and everyone's just freaking out, saying that I'm a
Boy.
doomer. And I didn't even make a statement. I just repeated what was told to me. So,
Of
what is
course.
your reaction to that information?
What was the so you said that you should always assume a private investigator, tells you that you should assume that you should always assume that women are sleeping with two guys. Is that what it said?
Yeah, I could get it word for word, but yeah, it
Okay.
said, let me let me see. It said, let me find it. Sorry, but it was basically a private investigator told me
Okay.
that to baseline assume that women are
Yep.
sleeping with two men at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. I'd say that's accurate. And the reason I say that's accurate is because like women, dude, sex comes so easy to women. And it cracks me up when there are actually women out here that brag about sleeping with 3 or 4 guys. Well, congratulations. I woke up and brushed my teeth this morning. Getting sex for women a lot of times is easier than breathing. If a man wants to be a man whore, if he wants to sleep around, he really has to work at it. All a woman has to do to be a hoe is decide to. She can walk right out the door, and she's getting hit in the face with dicks. And the men who understand how to handle them on a sexual level are the men who don't get screwed over. See, most men, Pearl, like most men, when they see the single mom, whatever the case may be, they're sort of in line to sort of get used and abused and played because the single mom is already speaking womanese as soon as you talk to her.
Yeah.
Listen, I know my worth. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not who I used to be. You and I both know, and we laugh at that because we know when they say I'm not that person anymore. Translation: I used to be an epic whore who used to get trains run on me. That's why I'm a single mother. I know my value. Pardon me. When a woman says I know my value, what she means is I didn't know my value back then, so I passed my body around to all of these men when my value is at its highest. But now that my value is at its lowest, I'm going to pretend that I know my value. No, women understand and know what their value is. What they've perfected is the art of letting the world know that they think that their value is high. I have actually had women in my comments talking about I'm a high value woman, and then I'll go to their Instagram and be like, no. And here's the thing, and I'll end this little spiel with this. the value of a woman is determined not by the caliber of men that want to sleep with you, but by the caliber of men who want to commit to you. Because most girls can sleep with most guys if they want to, but most guys couldn't sleep with most girls if they wanted to, and that's the difference.
Can I play devil's advocate? So,
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
so women are actually correct when they say I didn't know my value when they were younger,
Mhm.
because when they're younger, right, they're like the sluttiest when they're under 25. They're giving
Right.
it away for free. They're giving it,
Mhm.
they don't have these high standards.
Right.
And
Okay.
so they look back, and I think retrospectively, they're like, oh, I didn't know my value because I slept with the drummer, the bartender, this
Right.
guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. And
No, no,
I
no.
could have,
That
and I
makes
could have
perfect.
got more resources, but I didn't know it. I think that's
Right.
what they're communicating. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah. Yeah, listen, it's cap. It's cap. Women understand when a woman figures out that persons of the opposite sex want to have sex with them, instantly they figure out, okay, the world is open to me. If a woman is not sexually attractive, nothing is available to her.
Yeah.
Preferential treatment, dates, marriage, kids, whatever the case may be, everything is contingent. This is why a woman's primary agency is youth and beauty. It is the way she looks. Well, when a girl is young and hot, she's 21 years old, you're not going to convince me that a 21-year-old does not know that she does not have value, because when she walks into the room, she knows that 70 pairs of eyeballs are all trained on her.
Mm.
She knows right then and there that every man wants to fuck her, and because she knows that men wanting to fuck her is the key to everything, she understands very well what her value is. When they get older, they pretend not to know. But let's just say, for example, they really didn't know their value. Let's just say a woman said, "Well, I'm a valueless person. I'm just going to pass myself around." Oh, well, not my problem. Not my problem.
Exactly.
If you didn't
Exactly.
understand what your value is, if a woman walks into a room and she feels every man's eyeballs on her, if you don't know what your value is at that particular point, there's nothing I can do.
Okay,
There's nothing I can do.
one more tweet, and then we'll get to Womanese. I want to get your reaction
Let's do
too.
it.
I said, Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue are better women than the women that don't have sex with their husbands.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
You'd say true?
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I'll make a more provocative statement.
Okay.
The relationship between a lady of the night and her customer, that is probably the realest relationship you can be in, right? Because the man knows he's not getting the sex without the money. The woman knows she is not getting the money without the sex. That is transactional. That is the purest form of a transactional relationship. So I'll use my relationship as an example. If Devin didn't let me have sex with her, I would not share my resources with her. By the same token, if Devin knows that if she didn't have sex with me, I'm not going to share my resources. It is a transactional relationship. And a lot of people, they kind of scoff, oh my God, it's a transactional. Yes. All relationships are transactional. Love is an action. Love is a transaction. There is no there is no romance without finance. And I know a lot of people are going to have a problem with that, but this is the way it is. And men, we leverage our resources. We leverage our resources for female sexuality. Women leverage their sexuality for men's resources. It is a tale as old as time itself. And as men, we just need to understand that women do not love us for who we are. They love us for what we are. And that's okay. We don't love women the same way they love us. And I think a lot of guys just need to sort of get at it. A woman is never going to love you sentimentally. No, as long as you are a high level dude, I guess relative to what you were when you met her, she is always going to love and respect you. But just understand that if you fall off and don't show the resolve to get it all back, she is going to leave. And I conflate it to this. Let's just say a man has a lot of money and he falls off, he loses his job, right? A lot of guys will say, well, she'll probably just leave him. Well, no, she's going to give him time, of course, due to the fact that she's been with him a while. But the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, let's just say that a woman were to gain a little bit of weight. The man wouldn't instantly leave her because she's been thin the whole relationship. He'll give her a little bit of time to get thin. But everyone in here knows that if that woman stays fat and that dude has any value whatsoever, he is either going to cheat or he is going to leave her. That's what this is just kind of what it is. And so I think what we need to, I think men and women alike, we need to understand that we both have to provide value. Men, we think of it as a value exchange. A lot of women think of it as a value loaded exchange. We got to get out of that mindset.
You know what? I don't think how do I put this? Devin is so awesome. She's so
She
on your
is it.
pro she's so on your program too. And I just wanted to say
Taking a
that.
while.
I feel like she is so well she's such a good
Trained.
yeah, I didn't want to say trained. I know that was disrespectful. But no,
That's fine.
seriously, I was like
Yeah.
just watching you guys interact even like off camera and stuff.
Yeah.
She is such a model woman. Like she does great.
She is. She is. Yeah, I love her. I love her very much. And it's our 9-year anniversary is coming up in October, and it's hard for me to believe that we have been together for almost 9 years. It was dude, it was absolutely unbelievable. Or it's absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, Devin is awesome. I love her to death. And I mean, we're still going strong. I'm glad that I'm with her. I said to her last night, I was like, dude, I'm glad we found each other. So
And it's even great because it shows that you can have it all as a man. Like you can play the field
sure.
and you can settle down and have a good long-term relationship. You
And
know,
I
that
will tell you this. I will tell you this. It is my life is 10 times better now that I am with one woman than it ever was when I was running through hoes in Vegas. Yes, it was fun. It was a great time, magic carpet ride, all the rest of that. But there's something to be said about having a woman that you love and trust who respects and trusts you. It's just a much better existence. But you can't get to that point unless you know how to handle them. You can't get to that
correct.
point unless you can decipher what they say versus what they mean. Listen, Devin hit me with a lot of womanese when we first started talking, and she did. And what shocked her was that I would just call her out on it. Like I would just call her out. She's like, and the funny thing is a lot of times she didn't even get upset. She just kind of laughed. That's what I knew she was right. And she used to say to me all the time, she's like, you're the only man that I have ever met who has spoken to me in this way. Women respect you when you understand how to handle them. They might not like you for a short period of time, but in order to get a woman's love, you have to have her respect. And you cannot have a woman's respect unless you understand what she says versus what she means.
So why don't we start there? What was the
All
early
right.
womanese that she would throw at you?
Oh my God. The early womanese that
It's a
Devin would
good
throw at
that's a
me.
good transition into the topic.
That is. What did she say? Oh my God. She's hit me with it all the time. So when we first started talking, right? She would, what would she tell me? Oh, she would tell me that, the reason why she reached out to me is because she was talking to a guy. And the guy wasn't really coming around. And so I was like, okay, she actually reached out to me for a consultation. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? Well, he's this, he's that, and the third. And I said, okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and get this straight. She's like, what's that? I was like, you're fucking this dude. And she's like, okay. She's like, no, I said you're talking to him. That means you're fucking this dude. A lot of girls don't like to say I'm fucking a guy. They like to say that I'm seeing a guy or I'm talking to him or I'm
Mhm,
dating him. So that's the first thing that she would say. Then she would say, well, I want to go hang out with my guy again, whatever the case may be.
mhm.
And at that point, and at that point, when she figured out that I knew what she was saying, like, being able to read between the lines, she would be a little bit more honest and, dare I say, a little bit more direct, because she knew that if she tried to sort of mislead me about what her intentions were, that I would just call her out on it. Here's another womanese translation we gave. So we went to Hawaii. And this is actually our 9-year anniversary. So we went to Hawaii, and I remember we were talking while we were on the trip. And she was like, okay, so what are we going to do after this? I was like, well, I mean, if I like you after this trip, then, maybe we'll continue to see each other. And then she says to me, she's like, well, I kind of have to do the same thing. I don't know. And I said, Devin, stop it. I said, stop it. I said, you've already made your decision. You don't have to. What she tried to do is she tried that inverse projection. Oh, he's going to tell me he's not sure about me. That's making me more attracted to him. So
Mhm.
let me try the same thing. Attraction is not symmetrical. The same things that make us attractive to women are not. It's not the same in reverse. And so she had to learn a lot of that. But a lot of times when she would hit me with, she told me that she was going to go out with one of her friends. She's like, hey, my friend Kim called me and she asked me if I wanted to, go out to the bar or whatever. And I told her I would see if I could go. And I was like, no, you're not going. She's like, no, I told her I would see. I said, Devin, you're not going. She's like, what are you talking? I was like, Devin, if the answer is anything but yes, the answer is always no. That's it. That's all there is to it. And she was like, huh, I never really thought of it that way. Guess what? Devin didn't go to the club with her friend Kim. She had already had her mind made up, but because she wanted to be indirect, even with me, I'm not the person she committed to. She says, well, I was thinking about going, I was thinking about saying, no. You had already made your mind up. And that's actually one of the translation clips I'm going to show today.
Oh, sure. Can you show it on screen?
Yeah, sure can.
Cool.
Let me go ahead and share.
Does he have the ability to share it?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to give me the ability.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking to the producer just to make sure. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to clip number 2, and here we go.
Maybe. No. We'll see. No. More than likely. Hell nah.
If nothing comes up, sure. Sure won't. If I can finish my project, of course. Of course not.
If I don't have plans, definitely. Definitely not.
When it comes to meeting up with girls, a general rule of thumb is that if the answer is anything but yes, the answer is always no. Listen, if a girl wants to meet up with you, she'll meet up with you. She won't put conditions on it. She won't tell you about other plans. She'll simply say yes and wait for your instructions. Okay, so, pardon me. This is where a lot of guys, Pearl, end up wasting a lot of time, energy, and resources on a woman who just isn't interested in them. Like I said in the clip, if the answer is anything but yes, the answer is always no. And the way this will help you is that you won't be wasting time chasing a woman who doesn't like you like that, right? These are the girls really who almost always put you in the friend zone if they don't straight up ghost you altogether. The men who understand this are the men who don't get hung up on, girls, on girls who don't want them, which of course allows them to move on and spend time, pursuing women whose interest level is a little bit higher. So again, if the answer is anything but yes, the answer is always no. It's got to be an enthusiastic yes, 100% of the time.
What else are the common ones what would you say are like the most common mistakes women or men make when interpreting what women say versus what they mean?
There is only one mistake that men make when interpreting what women say versus what they mean. And that is taking what they say at face value. You can never, you just can't. And again, I'm not trying to make women sound like these nefarious creatures. This is just how they are. Okay. Men are direct, women are passive. Okay. And you just have to understand, especially in the romantic context, women don't want to look like a slut. They don't want to give you the wrong signals. And so they're always speaking indirectly. So when men take what women say at face value, like, for example, let's say you start dating a woman and she says, I want to take things slow. It absolutely positively means something else. And I've got a clip for that as well.
Okay.
This one is actually really, this one is crazy. Listen to this.
We need to take a break. I've been fucking another guy behind your back.
We should start seeing other people. I'm cheating on you. Let's try an open relationship. I'm having sex with another guy. We need to talk. I'm dumping you for the guy I'm cheating with.
A woman will never just tell you they're fucking someone else. So to circumvent having to be honest and having a difficult conversation, which, by the way, means admitting she's cheating, she'll use any combination of these statements to avoid looking like a cheating slut. If she says any of these things to you, she's been fucking another dude for at least 6 months and now knows she can start a relationship with him. Count on it. Okay, so there it is. Go ahead.
Oh, have you ever had a woman tell you the truth and like say that she was cheating?
No, never.
Never. Okay,
actually, there was one woman one time who told me she was cheating, and that's because I straight up asked her. And the reason why she told me is because she knew I had proof. Other than that, a woman will never, ever, ever volunteer to you that she is cheating on you. I mean, it's never happened to me. And I've banged more women than I care to admit. It's never happened to me.
Okay. Sorry, what were you saying before I interrupted you? Sorry.
I was going to say, you've interviewed more than 1,000 women, okay? And you have seen and heard the many, many ways that women characterize engaging in promiscuous behavior. How many girls have you interviewed? Like 12 or 1,300, some crazy number like
Around
that?
1,000, yeah.
Around 1,000. And I don't think I have ever seen or heard a woman say straight up, the reason my boyfriend and I broke up is because I wanted to sleep around. Or my boyfriend dumped me because he found out I was cheating, okay? The way this will help you guys when it comes to dating is being proactive and ask her, hey, what happened in your last relationship? Now, what she'll say is, we grew apart, or he wasn't attentive to my needs, or sometimes they'll just straight up lie to you and say, he cheated on me. And by the way, all these phrases are translated in the course. And when she says this to you, you now clearly understand that she is recreational use only. If you talk to a girl and you ask her, what happened in your last relationship? Oh, we grew apart. This means she cheated. This is how Womanese helps you guys. It gives you a clear understanding of which women you should not take seriously and which women you shouldn't.
Got it. What else? What else do you have in clips?
This is another good one. Watch and learn and listen very, very carefully. This is a lot of this is, it's kind of a sobering reminder, and it sucks that this is true, but it is. Here we go.
I'm a strong woman. I want a strong man. I'm super competitive. I want a super competitive guy.
Men are intimidated by me. I am turned on by men who intimidate me.
A dating hack I discovered a while back is if you ask her what kind of woman she is, she will tell you what kind of man she wants. A woman who talks about how strong, competitive, and intimidating she is telling you she's turned on by strong, competitive, and intimidating men. Okay,
Because
Pearl, this is why I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because we turn into the men we want to marry. So it's
yeah,
like a woman with a sleeve wants a man with a sleeve, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
And this is why I've always encouraged men to be proactive with their dealings in women as far as like vetting them are concerned. Guys, ask questions. Do not be afraid to quiz her. Don't be afraid to put her on the spot. Because if there is one thing that we are all aware of, whether you're good with women or not, is that they love nothing more than to talk about themselves. And not a one of us in here watching this right now are unaware of the phrase, let a woman talk long enough and eventually she will tell on themselves. Women, and you guys got to pay attention, women are always telling us who and what they are, but most of the time they're not aware that they are, okay? That particular translation that I just showed you, that allows you to find out what kind of woman you're dealing with, as well as the kind of man she wants to deal with. Again, this saves you a lot of time because now you have the information you need to make the call as to whether or not you want to continue dealing with her.
Okay, so what questions would you say that they should ask?
The one that I just said, hey, what happened or you mean as far as, no, just ask, hey, what kind of woman are you? Tell me what kind of woman you are. Describe yourself in 30 seconds. And if you ask a woman to describe herself in 15, 30 seconds, she will almost always tell you what she wants in a man. And the reason she does this, Pearl, is because she's trying to impress you. Like when you ask a woman what kind of a woman you are, she's trying to impress you, right? And that's not a bad thing. She wants to impress you because she likes you. But what you also have to understand is that when women try to impress you, they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear. This is why they tell you I'm a strong, independent, and super competitive.
Okay. Got it.
All right, very good. The next one is my ex is an asshole. This is actually the first one that we were talking about. Here we go.
My ex is such an asshole. I'm still in love with my ex.
A woman who talks shit about her ex is not over her ex. Remember, gentlemen, the more she tries to convince you of something, the less likely it's true. A woman who calls her ex an ass wants her ex in her ass. Never forget that. So many men, they actually, and this is where a lot of guys mess up. So many men think that if a woman thinks her ex is an asshole, that she no longer wants her ex. Guys, that is completely wrong. Yes, she thinks he's an asshole, and chances are he probably is. But if you're dealing with a woman who A, talks about her ex, and B, calls him an asshole, you need to understand that she is not over him, okay? The reason she's talking to you is to create a false sense of scarcity with her ex to give her the impression that she's fucking someone else. The second reason, and the most important reason, is she's looking to distract herself. She doesn't like you like that, okay? She just wants that constant, steady flow of male attention from you while she waits for her ex to make a play to get back with her. And when he does, trust me, she will go running back to him. So understanding this translation, my ex is an asshole, will again keep her from wasting time with women who don't really like you. And here's the thing, Pearl. Every woman has that one ex she can't leave alone. It's that one ex-boyfriend, that one situationship, she can't leave him alone. Yes, eventually they do move on to some degree, but if she calls her ex an asshole, when she's dealing with you, understand that it's only a matter of time before she starts fucking with him again.
So Was there a situation that happened to you and you found out she was cheating with the ex?
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Okay.
The girl's name was Victoria. I actually met her at a Five Guys, dude. Dude, this girl was, oh my god, she had a great ass. So I hit on her at Five Guys, and she's actually looking grumpy. I was like, oh, either you don't like black people or you hate your job, and she laughed, and that kind of broke the ice. Well, she used to talk about how her ex was an asshole all the time, and again, I had the game, but I didn't have the understanding, and I was like, yeah, he's an ex, he's an asshole, she likes me, blah 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 blah. Of course, her phone is buzzing away, and I'm like, well, who is that? She's like, well, that's my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't worried about it because it's your ex-boyfriend. He's an asshole, right? Come to find out, she actually got back with him. She got back with him while she was with me, and that's when I sort of discovered monkey branching. So that was my introduction to when women call their ex an asshole, it still means they want to get with him. That doesn't mean that she doesn't think he's an asshole, but she absolutely still wants to get with him.
But a woman can hate a man and still want to have sex with him.
Absolutely.
Like,
Oh my
yes,
God.
yeah, we can despise, and men don't understand this.
Yes.
Like we could hate a guy, not want to spend any time around him, but still want to sleep with him.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Listen, and men, and it's funny because, and I know a lot of women who have slept around, they have probably fucked a guy or two. They genuinely just did not like as people. Dude, I fucked plenty of girls. I just didn't like that much. I just liked having sex with her. This is one of the few things that men and women have in common as far as like, sexual interactions. We will have sex with a woman even if we don't like her. If a woman hates you, when a woman tells you she hates you, it really means she loves you. And I've said this before, Pearl. The opposite of love, as far as a woman goes, the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference. If she doesn't really care, if she couldn't care less about you, she's over you. If she hates you, she probably does, but she probably still loves you too. There's a thin line between love and hate, and that's why the saying goes that way.
Got it. Okay, what's next?
This next one is extremely, extremely dangerous. Okay. So a lot of women like to say we have a healthy relationship. Take a look.
Okay.
This is a toxic relationship.
You're making it so hard for me to cheat on you.
When a woman finds it hard to cheat on you, she'll characterize your relationship as toxic to try to get you to make it easier for her to cheat. Way too many men fall for this ploy. Do not be one of these men.
We have such a healthy relationship. It will be very easy to cheat on you when I decide to.
Beware of any woman who brags about a healthy relationship. This means she has cheated, is cheating, or is going to cheat. Remember what I said about toxic relationships? Well, the opposite applies when a woman says her relationship is healthy.
Yeah, it's a guy with no standards, right? She can just do whatever she wants.
There you go. And a lot of men, listen, you guys need to understand very, very clearly that modern women always want it both ways, okay? They want the status and the security of being in a relationship while also being able to engage in activities that make them look single. In other words, they want you to take them off the market, but still allow her to have the for rent sign in the front yard. And this is where a lot of men go wrong in their relationships. When women shame you, like in the clip we just saw, they are clearly telling you they don't want to be faithful to you. Women go to the club for attention. They're on Instagram because they're looking for your replacement. They travel without you because they want to get dicked down, but not lose the attention you give them, her as her significant other. The men who do not allow women to act single while in relationships with them are the men that women respect. They might not like it, but they will respect it. And as we all know, a woman cannot love you if she does not respect you.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's tough because all of society tells the women that the guy is toxic if he has any standards at all. The family will, social media will, the friends will. So it's like the guy against the world.
Yep. Yeah, and wow, that's a good way to put it, Pearl. It's the guy against the world.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a lot of guys in the chat that are probably frustrated. It really is. It is so hard, Pearl, to find the right information, man. This is why, guys like Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, Justin Waller, being on the DHS watch list, to me, that's nefarious. Because if men actually had this information, I think it would make relationships better. Yes, there's going to be a learning curve. No, women don't like it women hate it when you figure them out. They hate it, but eventually they respect you and love you for it.
Yeah, but beta bucks providers are what keeps society running. So that's why they don't want them getting the information. It would just be single mothers everywhere. Like if men,
100%.
yeah, it would just be single mothers, and then they wouldn't know what to do with all the single women. So they make it men's problem. Go ahead.
Our channels and all that being shadow banned and taken down. This is an economical decision. Okay.
Yeah.
They try to characterize, oh, we're trying to protect women from men. No. This is economical because you said it yourself when we talked about it earlier in the episode. The economy relies heavily on men not being aware of what their value is compared to what women's value is. Every kiss begins with K. Get down on one knee, do all this other kind of stuff. My wife is the boss, et cetera, et cetera. Most men in the world have never been exposed to this kind of content, and the powers that be are making sure that never happens. And now we know why.
Yeah, it's basically $8 or $2. Do you want to make $8 or do you want to make $2? Yeah, I mean,
I saw that tweet. I saw that video. That was profound, Pearl.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so simple when you think about it. I mean, I don't know what age you figured it out, but at some age, men understand that they lose money if they tell the truth.
That's right.
Or they get kicked out of school. They lose something, right? And so they just learn to lie. It's not really their fault, and it's not really the women's fault either because we're born into this. It's like our grandmothers or whoever. But corporations have more control over society if they're spending the women's money that they steal from the men rather than the men making choices. Go ahead.
This is why 90% of the commercials are geared towards women.
Yeah.
If you look at any commercial, almost every commercial you see is designed to get you emotional. And it's funny, we don't even see commercials anymore. It's like we're seeing these miniature movies, these miniature romantic comedies now. The powers that be on Madison Avenue, the advertising capital of the world, they know. And listen, this is a tale as old as time itself. And this is men and women alike. People buy based on emotion. They rarely buy based on logic. I used to sell cars for a living, and yeah, you can tell them about the power steering and the engine, this and that and the third. They're not going to buy the car for 10 reasons. They're going to buy it for one reason. And if that one reason is an emotional reason, there's a much higher probability that you're going to close that sale. The guys over on Madison Avenue understand that very clearly. This is why they push that emotional button every single time, because women make 80% of the financial buying decisions in this country. So yeah, if I were them, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. What's the next one we got?
The next one we got is a red flag. Now, what would you consider, Pearl, as a red flag?
In women?
Yeah. No, in men. What is a red flag post red pill awakening that you have that if a guy does or says or is X, Y, and Z, that is a red flag?
Ooh.
Tough one, isn't it?
Give me a second. Well, what I'm thinking of could be a red or a green flag, depending on what you want.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking, okay, so if you want a guy that's gonna be more faithful, you go out more into the country than the city.
Okay.
Because there's less attractive women in the country, so it's going to be easier for you to compete there. So if you want like an easier time, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to play life on hard mode, you go to the city where there's a batch of 20-year-olds that come every year.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So if you want like that's one that I would think of, but we like the men with options, so I'm having a hard time deciding which, like, if it would be red or green, because we
isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
you actually gave the right answer. There really are the only red flags that I can think of for a men that are not sexually or economically attractive is he plays video games. He lives with his mom, right? But there are guys who play video games and live with their mothers who actually are able to get women somehow. So this next clip is about red flags.
Okay.
Let's take a look and listen.
I want to take this slow. I want to keep fucking my ex.
Wait a minute. That's the wrong one. I do apologize. Sorry about that. Here we go.
That's true,
It's a
though.
red flag. That turns me on.
If it gets the attention of law enforcement, it gets the attention of young, hot female. Red flags are turn-ons for girls, guys, and that's all there is to it. If a woman says XYZ is a red flag, it means she's turned on by him. Okay. Again, Pearl, you have interviewed 1,000 girls, over the years. And one thing that is consistent across the board in terms of their mate selection is that they consistently commit to, have children with, get into situationships with men who have, quote, red flags. And they tell us as much all the time when they talk about why their relationships end or why they're not with the baby daddy anymore. And I'm telling you, better than 9 times out of 10, they rattle off red flag after red flag. He drank too much. He was a drug addict. He had a gambling addiction. He had 2 baby mamas when he, when he met her. The list goes on and on. So when these chicks out here talk about that's a red flag, it is important to understand that this means that they're giving you the green light to pursue them. It should not be this way, but that's the way it is, unfortunately.
And it's interesting too when I would have girls coming on the show and I would actually see what their exes looked like.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
yeah, and sometimes you would see the same ex. I'm like, he might have been dated a couple of you. But the one thing I think with young women now, it's really they don't care about money anymore. They can go make their own money. They care about clout.
Sure.
That's what they care about. They care about like when I started seeing it through the lens of young women want popular men, so they want the guy playing guitar, they want the guy with clout. Everything, and even couples that you see meet nowadays, it's like a lot of times it's through online communities where the guy is the popular one in that community, or like it's in the neighborhood that they live in nearby and the guy's the popular guy at the bar. Like it's all women are like in high school forever. They just want the popular guy. So the more men can like mimic that, the more they get the young hot women. Now, the older women, I don't want to say wise up, but they have to think long term more.
Yes.
So that's when you see them. Like I see the older women going more for like the doctors, the lawyer, but I don't really see the young women giving a shit about men's accomplishments at all. Like I see that. I see that with like women 27 and up.
Right. And the interesting thing is what a lot of men and women really don't understand that. Like when we're younger, girls tend to mature faster than boys, right? I mean, dude, my sister's matured faster than me, but and because of that, they assume that when they're older, they're more mature. No. As soon as a woman figures out that men want to have sex with them, the maturation process stops immediately. Okay. And the reason for that is because they now know that they have everything they need to get everything they need. In their firmware, they're thinking, okay, guys want to fuck me. So I don't have to have a good personality. I don't have to learn to cook, clean. I don't have to learn to have conversation. That's why there are so many smoke shows in Miami and Las Vegas and New York and LA who are drop dead gorgeous, who are as dumb as a box of rocks. Hot girls are useless because they've never had to be useful. And I think a lot of guys need to understand that. So when it comes to girls these days that you've been dealing with and interviewing, yeah, of course they're not worried about a man being a doctor when they're 21 and hot. But here's what happens. So they stop the maturation process when they figure out guys want to fuck them. But then all of a sudden when they're 28, 29 and they start buying their own drinks from the club. Maybe the situationship doesn't last as long. Maybe the guy you're having sex with isn't angling for a relationship a week later. That's when the maturation process starts up again because her hindbrain is thinking to herself, I'm not getting as much attention from these high quality guys as I was when I was younger. So now I'm going to try to develop a good personality. Now I'm going to try to cook and clean. Now I'm going to pretend to be feminine and docile. There are a lot of guys out here who have dated women, who are in their 30s and 40s who act like fucking teenagers. The reason why they act like teenagers, the reason why they act like overgrown children is because they still have the mind of a 16-year-old. 16 years old is when they discovered that men wanted to fuck them. So they hadn't really thought about improving themselves in any way since they were 16 years old. So when you're out with the 38-year-old former baddie, she probably might have the maturity of a 20-year-old because 4 years ago she figured out, I better get mature because guys aren't throwing the dick at me like they used to.
And I see this going up I see the length of or the age of women that date like bad boys for longer, I guess you could say, going up every year.
Yep.
Like, for example, in my mom's generation, it was like if you weren't married by like 20, like out of college, really, you were a loser. Now it's Gen Z. Gen Z is 27 because I'm 2 months away from Gen Z. I'm a millennial, but barely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're a millennial Zer then, huh?
Yeah. Like if my birthday is November. If I was born in January, I'd be Gen Z. So that's how close. That's how close I am to the cutoff. But only like I looked up Gen Z, like 15% are married.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd have to. I don't want to misquote
Oh my
it.
God.
What
Are you
percent?
kidding
Yeah,
me?
of
15.
Gen
So
Z
15
is
out of every
married.
100 Gen Zers are married. That is
Yeah, no, actually, it's 10%.
Oh,
And let's
God.
see. So, but Gen Z, I know some of them are too young. So, what is the
Oh, well,
youngest
okay.
Gen Z? I know. So some of it's yeah. So the youngest Gen Z is 13. The oldest is 27. So
Okay.
yeah. So, but still, that
Oh.
still means half. Like, I see this going up and up every year. Like,
Oh my God.
it'll be interesting to see like Gen Z. If I had to predict, I think they won't marry because when I was in Ireland, the average age of first marriage was 35.
What?
Yeah, that's not uncommon in some European countries. If you Google like average
Oh
age of
my
first
God.
marriage,
Well, what do you think about generation? Well, how do you think Generation Alpha is going to do? Because
it'll
holy
just
God,
I mean, if technology advances, I don't know if it will, but I mean, IVF is so common in the cities, it kind of has extended fertility a little bit. If women can
Okay.
wait till 45, they'll
Oh my
do it. I
God.
mean, I know like they try to say it hasn't, but I just because the thing is, what I see is things happen in the cities and then they migrate to the country. Does that make
Sure.
sense? So,
Yeah, we've
like,
had this discussion. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So the trends that I saw in like downtown London is like,
Mhm.
I mean, the women there on my volleyball team, I mean, they were older than me and not really thinking about marriage. Like some of them are like 32.
Incredible.
And so
I didn't know.
I see this like the party years or whatever, like I see that continuing to go up, especially if and I know it's all sort of fake, but like if Botox gets better, if IVF gets better,
Yeah, of
or
course.
even if they don't get better, if the illusion to women is that it gets better, I just see it going up. Does that make sense? Like
No,
even if
that
even
makes
if the
perfect sense.
technology isn't there, as long as they can
Right.
convince women that it will be there,
Yeah.
I mean, if you
God
if you
almighty.
see think about this, Donovan. Matt Walsh had 2 sets of twins in his 30s.
Right.
His wife was in her
Right.
30s. Those were definitely IVF.
Of course.
Like
Had to be.
Crowder had twins too with the wife in her
Yeah.
30s. Like so if the right-leaning commentators are getting IVF kit, like what and I think they're going to hide this stat, but what percent of the future generations? I mean even I'm not going to say his name, but Nick F. I mean,
Sure.
he was born via IVF. Like, what percent of
Really?
future generations are going to be born via IVF? I think it's going to be a lot. I think someday it might be a majority, even if the stats don't like show that. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. And I heard a stat that millennials and Gen Zers are not having nearly as much sex as we thought they were. I've heard that they're just not having sex anymore. Like, how true is that?
I mean, I think the women are having sex. I mean, if you wanna,
yeah.
if you wanna check that out, I mean, the STD rates will tell you, because
Okay.
women are the
Yeah,
ones
that makes
that the
sense.
women are the ones that are spreading STDs. So,
Yep.
if
Yep.
women are not having sex, then Gen Z should have a lower STD rate. I do
they don't.
think, yeah, I mean, I do think we got to think about like if we're having sex with a smaller percentage of men, if a guy
Mhm.
has a 5-girl rotation.
Mhm.
How often is he seeing the girls at the bottom, right?
Oh my God.
Do you know what I'm
Jesus
saying?
Christ.
So I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
maybe see like that possibly because like the 5s, the 6s, if the guy's a 9 and 10,
Sure. Yeah,
how
they'll just throw themselves at him. I had a 5-girl rotation for 2.5 weeks. Like, dude, anybody, listen, man, look. Look, every guy says, I want to be fucking multiple girls. And listen, we all do. I've done it before. But guys, like, it should be 2, 3 at the very, very most. And I know we teach you guys to make sure you keep one in the kitty to keep your abundance mentality. But guys, what you have to understand is that sleeping with multiple girls is work. Sometimes it can be a bit of a full-time job. And here's the thing. If you've got a rotation of women, you have to fuck all of the women. Otherwise, they're not in your rotation. You'll hear a guy say, well, I'm fucking 5 girls at the same time. No, you fucked 5 girls 3 months ago. No, the definition of having a rotation is you're fucking every girl in your rotation regularly, and she expects to have sex with you again in the not too distant future. Gentlemen, that is hard work. It's fun when it first starts, and it's a nice little ego boost that you've got all these bitches in your phone that you can come over and, and let you smash her out in 3 texts or less. But trust me, once you get there and you listen, once the new wears off, oh my, it really is, believe it or not, it's more trouble than it's worth. And here's the thing. The worst thing about having a 5-girl rotation like I did for 2.5 weeks is that you have to have sex, Pearl, when you don't want to. If you want to keep a girl in rotation, you got to fuck her. And listen, if girls think guys are thinking about, no, if you're fucking 3 and 4 and 5 girls at the same time, you're not wanting to fuck all the time. But if you want to keep the bitch in your rotation, you have to fuck her. That means having to have sex when you don't want to. And that is not fun.
Yeah.
That is no fucking fun, dude.
Yeah. And I think that's where some of maybe the sexlessness comes from. It's like if a
Okay.
4, 5, and 6, like, how often is she going to get into contact with a 9 and a 10?
Right.
I mean, like,
Right.
he'll do it, right? I mean, they'll always do it, but
Sure. Of
but
course.
that's
Right,
like she may
we'll do it. Right.
But I don't know. I have heard that, like, there are stats saying that they're sexless, but we all know that they hide stats about women being whores. And
Of course.
and I'm seeing in Gen Z a divide between the women. It seems like the women that are
Really?
hot, yeah, it's okay. There's the women that are hot, okay, they
Mhm.
are more monetized than ever. So they're
100%.
yeah, and the women that are either extremely socially awkward, like, and I'm not talking like I think some people think of. I'm talking some of the Gen Z women cannot hold a conversation at all. Like they have extreme, yeah, that or overweight. I think they are the ones that maybe are in the sexless category,
Yep.
but it's just because they can't get the guys they want. Like they don't have
Right.
the skills. But if they get
Sure.
into the other category, they become monetized fast. That's what I see. But maybe you see, I mean, you're on Fresh and Fit all the time. So what do you
Yeah,
see?
sure. Yeah, listen, unfortunately, if you ever meet a super attractive girl, there is a better than average chance that she is monetized in some way, shape, or form. She's either got a sugar daddy or 5, she's on OnlyFans, she's an Instagram model. She women who are super attractive, unfortunately, they make money off of the way they look. Now, here's the difference, Pearl. A lot of people think, and they'll try to quiz you. Okay, well, what about, let me think of the older supermodels, Claudia Schiffer or Giselle Bundchen. Are they sex workers? No. Here's the difference between a sex worker and a real published model. A sex worker, again, your Instagram model, your cam girls, your OnlyFans girl, porn stars, strippers, whatever, their market is men. Everything they put out there is to attract men to come and spend money. Whereas if it's Giselle Bundchen, Kathy Ireland, Claudia Schiffer, etc., they are encouraging women. So the Victoria's Secret models, that show is not for men. That show is for the women. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. That's not for men. That's for women. So the difference between a model and a sex worker is a model's market is other women. A sex worker's market is other men. Big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. What is next on the clips that we got?
What is next? I've got 4 more, and
Okay,
we'll go
cool.
through these
Yeah,
quickly.
let's go through them.
So
Take your
this
time.
one, I
This
know-
is good
okay.
commentary, so take your time.
Okay, good stuff. A lot of guys will fuck around with a girl who says she wants to take things slow. I think we all know what that means. Here we go.
I want to take this
Wait,
slow.
share the screen.
I want to keep fucking my.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was already doing that. My bad. Oh, my fault.
That's okay.
Share. Yep, share. There it is. Got it. Okay, there it is. Sorry about that. Can you
Okay.
see it now?
Yeah, I can.
All right, very good. Let me, okay, here we go.
I want to take this slow. I want to keep fucking my ex while you buy me things.
Women never take things slow with the men they want to fuck. They say this to make them think there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so that man will stick around and do her favors, thinking she'll reward him for his efforts. Newsflash, she'll never fuck that guy. So if a woman ever says this to you, understand that you will never, ever fuck her. Save yourself some time and bounce like a bad check. This, Pearl, this is how dudes get friend zoned, okay? And this is
Yeah.
what we talked about earlier. They take the girl's word for
Donovan,
it. They take-
Donovan, unshare your screen when you talk, just so we can see
Oh, I'm
you,
sorry.
because sometimes it,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Sorry
there you
about
go.
that.
No,
Yeah,
you're
there we
totally
go.
fine.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, sorry about that. So They take the girl's word for it, and they take what she says at face value, because she wants to do things right and not jump into a sexual relationship right away. Meanwhile, she's getting bottomed out by her ex, while you are giving her all the benefits of being in a relationship, which of course is attention and time, without her having to give you sex. If a woman tells you she wants to take things slow with you, it just means she don't like you like that. The men that women want never have to wait for sex, ever. And I've been on both sides of that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes the women don't even realize they don't like the guy. I think when you're red pill aware, it's funny because
Yes.
I've had there was a woman recently that dumped her boyfriend, and she was telling me all the reasons she dumped him, and I just looked at her and I said, "You just don't like him. That's it. You just don't, because the reasons you're giving me are just not valid. You just don't it's fine. You're not a bad person.
Right.
He's just not your cup of tea."
Yeah, that's it. And girls don't want to look, and again, girls don't want to look bad. I know a lot of guys will disagree with me. Girls a lot of times say they don't want to hurt feelings. A lot of women don't give a damn, but women are acutely aware of public image and public persona. And this is why they don't just say, the reason I dumped him is because I just didn't like him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he took me out, and I just didn't know. They'll come up with all of these reasons. They'll come up with all of these reasons that don't make them look as bad. Well, he's cute, or he's this, or he's that, but there was just something. No, you just don't like him. And here's the thing, Pearl. Women don't have to explain this.
Yeah.
If you don't like the guy, you don't have to explain why you don't like the guy. It is women are not obligated to give a detailed report as to why they're not going to continue seeing a guy. Hey, I just don't like him, and leave it at that. But again, women they're aware of public perception, so they want to come off looking good.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's just because he's too blue-pilled.
Yep,
it is. Usually, I've found if I didn't like a guy, it was just because it's
he didn't know how to handle women.
Yeah, he didn't have any frame, and a lot of women we're never taught that's something we should look for.
There you go.
And so it's sometimes when the woman doesn't know why she doesn't like a guy, that's why he has no balls.
Wow. Wow, that's very interesting.
We don't like men that are afraid to tell us no, and when we overreact, yeah. So it's but it's not like this is conscious. We just feel oh, I don't like him, but we don't know why. And so a lot of times that's when on these shows when the women say they dumped these guys, and it just seems over stupid reasons. If you really dig down to it, you got to ask okay, whose house did you live in, yours or his? Who was coming? Yeah. Who was going to who? When you really dig into the details of the relationship, it's he was coming into her frame.
Women don't like, Devin said it in the chat, women don't like weak men. And a lot of women don't know how to verbalize that, right? They don't realize that a guy they're talking to, just like you said, and blue-pilled, I think, Pearl, I think that's another word for a guy who's weak. Blue-pilled, a blue-pilled guy, a weak man, just like you said, is afraid to disagree with a woman. He's afraid to tell his woman no, right? Devin just started her own business. She landed her first major client yesterday. Mm-hmm. When she got back from signing that contract, I was on the air. I was proud of her. I was on the air. She's downstairs yelling. I'm like, yo, I'm on the fucking air. Let's keep it quiet down there, right? Mm-hmm. Most men, Pearl, are afraid to piss off their women. And that is a major, major turnoff. If a man, and women can tell this instantaneously. You can tell when a man is afraid to. You can tell when a man is afraid to disagree with you. You know when a man is afraid to be direct with you. When a man beats around the bush about what he wants. Women respect men who are direct. Women do not respect men who beat around the bush, because men who beat around the bush are blue pill, which is another word for weak.
How long did it take you to go from? Because I'm assuming early. Before you got red pilled, you were indirect with women. Would you?
Oh yeah.
So how long was that process for you from being completely indirect, blue pilled to, Devin's on your program. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've seen you guys together. And so how long did it take to get from there to there?
It was instant for me. As soon as I figured out, and I'll tell you, it's scary at first. When you start communicating with women you're sexually attracted to directly, because deep down inside, you're well, I don't want to piss her off. Otherwise she won't like me. But the very first time, this is, dude, I will never forget this. This girl's name was, her name was Trish. I actually met her at oh boy, I can't remember where I met her. I think I met her at either a grocery store or like a farmer's market or something. Anyway, we're out on a date, and I think we're at this pizza pasta joint or whatever the case may be. And so we get to, we get there, and she says to me, oh, she's like, I forgot to tell you, like, I'm a vegan or I'm vegetarian or something like that. Now, the blue pill in me would have been like, oh, let me just get up and let's find another restaurant. You know what I did? I was like, oh, you're a vegetarian? It's like that. There you go. They have a vegetarian menu. Okay. And I could tell that she respected the fact that, listen, we're here. I planned this date, and that was almost like a shit test. I told her, I wasn't an asshole. I just, okay, you're a vegetarian. Cool. There's the vegetarian menu. That right there, Pearl, that was the genesis for me. She did not react aversely. And that was the flashpoint for me. Oh, I can start being direct with women. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, it will quote unquote backfire. But if a woman, if you show a woman raw masculinity when you are direct with her and even a little bit of an asshole, and she reacts aversely, that is not the type of woman you want to spend time with. If a woman can't handle you being direct, if she doesn't respect that, and guys, most women respect the fact that you are direct. Some women just can't get over their ego. I can't believe you talk to me that way. But most women, when you're direct, at first they kind of bristle. They go, well, wait a minute. Did this guy just say what I thought he said? And then they think, yes, he did. And it kind of pissed me off and took me aback a little bit. But I think I kind of like this guy. Dude, Pearl, I can't tell you how many women have told me, no man has ever spoken to me the way you have spoken to me. I used to get that all the time. And to this day, Devin still tells me the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really makes you stand out because most men are blue-pilled, so.
It makes you stand out, but more importantly, Pearl, it doesn't make she knows right then that you are not weak. And this is the thing. When you understand womanese and you are direct with women and just like you said, when you don't allow yourself to, sort of follow in her frame, they might not like it at first, and they might not know they don't like it, but they will respect it. And with some women, Pearl, it happens instantaneously. With some women, it happens a little bit slower. But eventually a woman says to herself, you know what? I kind of like this guy. He tells me what he means, and he means what he says. And that is a big time turn on for women.
Yeah. What's the next one?
So the next one is, this one talks about, sorry about that. This one talks about marriage. So let me share this one. So this one is about marriage and what women mean when they say that they want to get married. Pay close attention.
Okay.
I want to get married someday. I do want to get married after I fucked at least 100 guys.
She wants to get married. It is a symbol of her inherent value as a woman. A man chose her to spend the rest of his life with and to start a family with. But today's women aren't interested in marriage when their value is at its peak. But then they wonder why high-value men don't want to wife them up in their mid to late 30s. Now, this is a funny one, Pearl, because I think you've had so many girls on who talk about what age they want to get married. And what's the age they always say? It's like 30 or 32 or something like that. Like in your experience, what's the average age girls have told you they want to get married?
32.
Okay, right. They say, I want to wait till I'm like 30 or 32 to get married. The reason they want to wait until they're in their 30s is because they want to be a hoe while their value is at its highest. Then they wonder why the men they want don't take them seriously. No woman who is serious about marriage will ever say, I want to get married someday. Someday clearly implies way off in the distant future.
Oh, yeah, that's the
You understand
catch.
what I mean?
She
So
says
when a woman
someday.
says, I want to get married someday, she means that she is not trying to get married anytime soon, straight up.
Yeah, that makes, I didn't even catch that, the someday. That's good, Donovan.
There you go. And again, the reason I have these in here is because I've heard this so many times. If a woman wants to get married, she'll say, I want to get married, right? I want to get married. But when a woman says I want to get married someday, it never means she wants to get married in her 20s or right around the corner. It's when she says I want to get married someday, she's like, yeah, I want to be a hoe until I get married.
But that's great
that's
great for the guy because she can be a hoe for him, right? So it's like a green flag on a date. Like Like he
You can be a
doesn't.
hoe while we're married, right?
No. I'm saying like if he's on a date and she says I want to get married someday, he's like, great. I don't have to worry about marrying her.
There you go. There you go. But here's the thing: if he doesn't know that that's what she means, oh my God, she says she wants to get married someday. She's talking about marriage on the first date. I must be the guy she wants to marry. When she adds the word someday, she ain't talking about you. No way.
That's so fun. Okay, go ahead. So he's like,
Speaking of which, go ahead.
He's like, great. Now she could be a hoe. That means hoe phase. So that's good for the guy, right?
I want to get married someday means I want to stay in my hoe phase. Now, while women are in their hoe phase, they do shit with dudes that they do not do with their husbands. And there are a lot of men who have a little bit of frustration because they're not getting their dick sucked, they're not getting blowjobs. Well, this is the excuse they give, and this is really what they mean.
I want to get married.
Oh, wait a
someday.
minute. Sorry, that was the wrong one. This is the second to last clip. Here we go.
I am not that person anymore. I'm still that person, just not with you.
This goes back to getting butt fucked and swallowing random loads. If a woman likes you enough, she'll let you do whatever you want to her. If she doesn't, she won't. And she'll use this excuse to get out of taking it in the ass or getting a protein shake. Now, as funny as that sounds, girls who do say, I'm not that person anymore, are telling you that they are that person, but only for the right guys, the guys they want to fuck. If a girl tells you, I'm not that person, that means she's not into you, right? If you're into freaky shit and she really likes you, she will do whatever freaky shit you want her to do. If she doesn't want to do freaky shit and uses the excuse, I'm not that person anymore, she is telling you that you're not the kind of guy who in her mind warrants the privilege of being your personal porn star. You should never, ever have to talk a girl into giving you a blowjob. If you do, you ain't who she wants,
Yeah,
bro.
and this isn't to make men mad. It's just to identify the difference. I mean, if she's giving you starfish sex, you might as well take it while you're looking for the good sex.
You may as well, because
You might
starfish
as
sex is better than no sex,
Yeah,
right?
like take it for now, but just keep looking for the next best. I mean, I was looking at hooker prices because I was curious the other day. And I was like,
Oh my God.
no, not, just because I was wondering what the price of sex is to men. Because I had a conversation the other day with someone and I was like, why do personal trainers have sex with their clients? I'm like, aren't they worried about losing their money? And they're like, well, the way that they're going to see it is the sex is like the amount of work that, they're like, I mean, they might lose a client, but I mean, they got
pick up a rotation.
Yeah, well, that he said he might have to pay if he paid a prostitute, it would be expensive, right? Or if he paid to go on these dates, it's all this work and time he has to put into it. So he might lose a couple $100 a month, whatever.
Big deal.
And,
He's still getting the pussy.
Yeah, and so I thought about this, and I guess it's a decent prostitute's like $300 an hour. It's like $300. Yeah, so I'm like, that's a lot of money. So even if it's starfish, even if it's starfish sex, the guy can get that. Instead of getting mad and be like, oh, she won't do this, just accept the starfish and then go find the woman that'll do the freaky stuff with you. I mean, you can date multiple, right? I mean,
oh, of course.
You can look for your next
Listen,
girlfriend with your wife.
Oh, wow. Whoa, wait a minute. I mean, listen, some guys really do that. Listen, I've never paid for sex before, so I don't know what the going rate is for sex. But I think what all guys have to understand is that there is never not a cost that comes to sex. A lot of guys like to say, well, even if he doesn't take her out on the date, he's still paying. Listen, a woman's sexuality does not come for free. There is going to be costs, even if it's not monetary. It's going to cost time. It's going to cost time. This is just how it is. And so, and like I said before, sex does not come free, does not come for no cost. And the sooner guys understand that, the better off I think we'll all be.
Yeah. Yeah. What's next?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what's next?
Okay. So this is the very last, translation. This one actually has to do with saying things to try to make you feel special. This one is very quick, and away we go.
I've never felt this way before. I want to make you feel special, but you're not.
Women will say whatever they have to make you feel special or unique. This is one of the many obvious statements they make in an attempt to make you think that you are somehow different or special from other guys. So one of my books is called The 49 Laws of the Sharp. And in that book, law number 28 states that you will never, ever be a woman's biggest, best, first, or only. Let me repeat that. You will never be her biggest, her best, her first, or her only. In other words, guys, you're not special. Now, she wants you to think. She thinks that you're special because she knows that the male ego is a cheat code in these cases. Foolishly thinking that she can't get from anyone else that she gets from you is going to lead to some serious heartbreak. And I've been a victim of this many times. And the reason for this is because if she successfully convinces you that you are somehow special or unique, she knows that you will allow her to engage in behaviors that put your relationship at risk. Why? Because you'll think, nah, she won't cheat on me with her ex. She's never felt this way before. Guys, I'm telling you, never, ever allow a woman to convince you that she thinks that you're somehow unique or special, because once that happens, it is all downhill from there. And she literally has you by the balls.
Do you think that some men take the approach that it's not their problem to make her not cheat, and if they catch her, the relationship's over? What do you think about that? I've heard a lot of men say that essentially, if she's going to cheat, she's going to cheat. I can't stop it. So if she chooses to do that, it's not my problem. And eventually I'll find out. Do you think that's true or untrue?
No, it's not true. And I'll give you an example. Okay. Devin and I, we have a world-class security system. We have a world-class security system. No one is getting into this fortress without me knowing it. Okay. We've got alarms, cameras everywhere. That being said, if somebody really wanted to break into our house, if they really wanted to do it, they would find a way to do it. Okay. So if I know that if somebody really wanted to break into my house, what am I going to do? Well, if they want to break into my house, I may as well unlock my door. I may as well turn off my, no. You're going to have to earn it. If you want to break into my house, you are going to have to work for it. Well, it's the same thing as women and cheating. A lot of guys say, well, if a woman is going to cheat, she's going to cheat. Okay, you're right. That doesn't mean you have to grease the skids to her cheating. That doesn't mean you have to unlock this doesn't mean, just because you know somebody can rob your house if they really want to, that doesn't mean I'm going to disarm my security system and unlock the door because I know that they can get in here if they really want to. No, they're going to have to work for it. And so for guys to just kind of throw up there, well, it's not my responsibility to make sure she doesn't cheat. Yes, it is. Because if your woman cheats, that's on you. And this is a huge, huge mistake that almost all men make in relationships. And this is where the rubber meets the road as far as relationships are concerned, Pearl, is too many men are the first to angle for too many men are the first to angle for a relationship. When you ask a woman to be your girlfriend, your wife, whatever the case may be, you are essentially forfeiting your right to set boundaries, standards, and expectations. And when you are not allowed to set boundaries, standards, and expectations, the first time she does something that you think puts your relationship at risk, she's going to look at you and scoff because she's going to say, well, where was this when we weren't together? No, you always let her pursue you for the relationship. Now, a lot of guys will say, well, what if she never brings up or broaches the subject of being in a relationship with you? That means that she didn't like you as much as you thought she did. If a woman really, really wants to be with you, she will angle for commitment. And when she angles for commitment, that's when you tell her, these are my standards, boundaries, and expectations.
And it's free sex. It's like, congrats. She doesn't like you. Now you don't have to deal with her problems. Just take the sex. It's a win. Just take it's like, women are like, here's the sex. And the guy's like, why doesn't she want to date me? It's like, what are you, a woman? What are you, a woman?
Oh my God. And so many men are feminine like that. So many men, how can I put this?
My little brother's like a natural alpha, he's just a natural one. The ladies love him. If a girl doesn't want to date him, he's like, great. I think he wishes less women wanted to date him so they could stop going.
Yeah, so we can just get easy, get easy sex, right?
I know, they always fall in love. And then sometimes they'll DM me and I'm like, what? This isn't my problem. I'm like, what the? Of course I'm taking my brother's side, bitch.
Of course, right.
This one girl,
But-
he left her
Go
at he left her at a bar because she was being a bitch, and he just left her.
Good.
He's a natural, he's a natural. He just left her there, and she DM'd me, and I'm like, well, what? You're an adult. Get an Uber.
What do you want me to do about
Yeah,
it?
get an Uber. Like, you're an adult. If I was left at a bar, I would get an Uber. Like, what? This is 2025.
Yeah, what are you doing? Whip out your phone. Like, and what are you supposed to do about it? Hey, brother, go back and get this girl at the bar, even though she's being a bitch. I swear to God. Man.
No, I said, Adam, you got to dump this broad. I'm like,
dude,
like, what do you think?
yeah.
If you're messaging his sister, like, what do you expect? I
You're
mean,
down
maybe
bad, dude.
there's some weak ass sisters out there, but if you think there's any way in hell I'm taking your side over this was years ago, by the way, but
Sure.
but I'm
you
like,
ain't doing that.
I mean, he could cheat on you, and I'd say it's your fault.
There you go. Absolutely.
Get out of here.
Absolutely. But like I said, dude, guys are lazy. When guys make that statement, well, if she's going to cheat, there's nothing I can do about it. Well, if she's cheating, there's nothing you can do about it. But there are things that you can do to safeguard yourself or to safeguard you from a woman stepping out on you. I tell Devin all the time, if you're going to cheat, okay, you are going to have to earn it. She's going to have to earn it. She really is. She's not. See, here's the thing. Cheating for women is not hard, okay? It's the getting away with it part that trips them up, right? Devin, dude, for all I know, Devin could have went and got smashed out on her way back from signing that contract with her first client.
Mhm.
I don't know. You know what I mean? But I've got her location, I've got her phone, and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, you guys know, anyone who's followed me for any number of time knows that if Devin really wanted to cheat, she could if she wanted to. It would not be easy. And like I said, it's the getting away with it part. And as long as you have those boundaries, standards, and expectations in place, at some point, Pearl, see, here's what goes through a woman's mind. One thing that I have figured out about women is they always do what's easy. Okay. If it's easy for her to cheat, she's going to cheat. But if she's with a man that makes it hard for her to cheat, now she has a choice to make. She can either cheat or she can be in the relationship with you, but she knows she can't have both. So now she's got to make a choice, okay? Either I stay with this guy or I just tell this guy I just don't want to be with him anymore. In either case, you're off scot-free because at least you know what's going on.
So I got a request to show you the modern woman life cycle and see if you agree with
let's do it.
So
Let's do it.
made okay, so the modern woman life cycle is to go to some high-priced institution to get a degree that no one cares about, to put themselves into debt, and barely learn anything except how to use men for things.
Oh, wow.
Step 2,
Yeah.
get a job that is too stressful and does not care about them. In reality, the job is not actually that hard or stressful, but women
Nope.
convince ourselves that it is. Step 3, ignore the student debt, buy a house, travel, or get a luxury car. Step 4, wake up at 33 to 37, rush to get a husband, kids, or both. Hit late 30s, early 40s, and try to get pregnant by some loser or IVF. Start antidepressants at 40. Maybe love the child, but hate the child for having to settle. Step 9, buy a dog or a cat, divorce your husband, and die alone.
Oh, no.
And would you say that's accurate? Did I miss anything?
Nope. I would say that is very accurate. And this is why I remember, this is interesting. I remember, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but I remember you did like a video on the archetype of the most miserable group of people in America. It's a woman who is 42 years old, who is a doctor or a lawyer. That fits that perfectly. That absolutely fits that perfectly.
Now, there's a couple phase options that women go through.
Okay.
So, like, so there's the hoe phase, of course.
Yep.
Abortions, tattoos, piercings, STDs.
Oh, 100%.
The Christian phase often comes after the hoe phase.
Yes.
So they try that. They try the get out of jail free card with that.
Yep.
The health phase. This often comes after getting an STD. So
Oh
they
my
gotta
God,
get
yes.
healthy. They get like HPV or something. So it's time to get it.
Ay, ay, ay.
They gotta
Ooh, gross.
clear it. Women will waste money. They'll also women will also convince or it's an STD or gaining a bunch of weight from poor decisions during the whole phase. So
There you
like
go.
brunch, eating out, whatever, all these foodie dates, the 50 pounds comes. Women will waste money on things to make them healthier, and they'll convince themselves that it's the birth control and the water making them fat and not their poor life choices and overpriced gym, Pilates, stuff to give them in more debt. The overpriced, like the $200 a month gym membership that adds to it. So then the gym phase, waste money on expensive gym membership they don't need, a personal trainer so he can blow their back out. Then they go to the healing phase, which is overpriced trips. The therapy phase, deal with unprocessed trauma, aka someone checked them in the hallway in high school and they're still bitter about it. The influencer phase. The raise your standards phase.
That's good.
The independent woman A's, the above it all era, the raising kids era, the divorce era. The boyfriends during their 20s, they got two options. A beta who has no standards, so she can do whatever she wants. Alpha who cheats on her. Really, that's it. Shopping era, biological clock era, abstinence phase, the hippie phase. The cougar phase, the non-monogamy era, the swap your wife era,
the hoe phase.
We said, the trad wife era, the wine mom era, the self-discovery era, the waiting till marriage era, the Botox era, the girl math era, the false allegations era, the hoe mom era where the mother lives through her daughter, the Instagram era music festival that the women puts themselves into doing things like that, the plus size area, the lesbian phase. That's all the phase. Feel free if you have anything else to add to this, any phases or errors I missed.
I have very, very little to add to that. And it's funny how there are so many people who have aggregated this. And the reason why it's funny is because it's true. It's like we see this all the time. We see it all the time. I think it's dude. Like dude. I try my best, Pearl, not to be a doomer, but dude. In order to be effective, you gotta tell the truth, man. You gotta tell the truth. And I don't want to say, enjoy the decline or send the asteroid, whatever the case may be, but it is bad out there. It really is. Oh, Devin adds the born again phase. I think that was the
Christian.
Yeah,
phase, but she's definitely right. That's definitely part of it.
Yeah. Okay, listen, I've got one more clip that I want to play for you. And this clip is a little over 4 minutes long. This is the entire Volume 1, Chapter 1 of Womanese. And by the way, just so you guys know and understand, look in Pearl's chat or look in Pearl's in the description. So Pearl is now an affiliate. She is now an affiliate for all of Womanese. Okay. And we're running a 24-hour special. The link is in the description and everything. Go to tsracademy.com/Pearl, right? You'll see her face. You'll see her with Brittany Renner and Andrew Tate up there. Guys, if you use promo code PEARL24, you are going to get a 33% discount on the entire Womanese course. You're going to get the video course, you're going to get the audio course, and you're going to get the ebook course. So you can watch the course like we are now, or you can listen to the course, or you can read about the course. Either way, tremendous value. Again, the link, the link is in the description. So without further ado, I'm going to play the entirety of Chapter 1 of Womanese, and away we go.
Don't judge me. Don't hold me accountable for my bad decisions.
Women make impulsive decisions all the time, but they don't want to accept responsibility for the consequences. So they use the "don't judge me" phrase to preemptively avoid being held responsible for their actions.
He cheated on me. Yeah, I cheated on him.
This is a go-to lie women tell their family and friends to cover up their own cheating. The reason they use this lie so much is, number one, they know that it can't be proven. And number two, she knows her family and friends will always take her side.
He cheated on me, so I dumped him. I cheated first, so he cheated on me.
This is a classic example of a woman leaving out the part where she fucked up. They do this all the time. It is never this simple, and there is always more to the story.
He wasn't attentive to my needs. I use this excuse because every woman does.
This one is another classic line in the blame him for my cheating playbook that women have been using for years. And by the way, she'll never tell you exactly how he didn't meet her needs. Funny how that works, right?
We grew apart. I cheated.
A woman will never come right out and say, I cheated. She'll sugarcoat it with something nebulous like, we grew apart, as if to imply that it magically forced her onto another man's dick. When a woman says this, it means she cheated, period.
I fell out of love with him. I started fucking another guy.
This, gentlemen, is the branch swingers anthem. A woman never falls out of love with a man if she hasn't fallen in love with another man first. This line is a dead giveaway that she was fucking around before she fell out of love.
We ended things mutually. He dumped me.
Women never leave a relationship if they haven't started another one. So if a woman says the breakup was a joint decision, you can bet your ass that he dumped her.
I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for more attention from guys.
Every decision a woman makes is for the sole purpose of attracting more men. Losing weight, changing their hair, anything and everything they do is to increase their opportunities for dick. I'm doing this for me is code for I'm doing this for more dick.
I'm so done with him. If he calls me, I'll totally fuck him.
The opposite of love isn't hate, gentlemen. It's indifference. If a man still elicits strong reactions within a woman, she definitely still wants to be with him. If a woman ever says this to you, count on her taking that guy's dick that night.
I don't know why women don't like me. They don't like me because I flirt with their boyfriends.
Women always feign ignorance when it comes to being attention whores. Pretending that they don't understand why girls don't like hanging out with them is another way they do this.
I'm in an open relationship.
I cheat. He doesn't.
Women cheat all the time as a matter of habit. Telling you she's in an open relationship is her admitting to you that she's unfaithful without actually calling it cheating.
I don't normally do this.
I'm a slut, but I don't want you to think that I am.
This is another example of a woman putting up her slut shields. They want to engage in slutty behavior without being labeled a slut. And this is a go-to phrase they use when they're about to fuck a guy they really like. Remember, gentlemen, you are not special. She just wants you to think you are.
I'm not a size queen. I love huge dicks.
A preference for huge dicks is the calling card of a bona fide slut. She's fucked enough guys that she's had her share of big dicks in her life. If a woman says this to you unprovoked, she is 100% a size queen. Remember, the more a woman tries to convince you of something, the more likely that the opposite is true.
I'm not like most girls. I am like most girls, but I want you to think I'm not.
Every girl says this to a guy at some point. This is what we like to call snowflaking. The thing is, women know they're not special. They just want you to think they are. All women are not the same, but all women are like that.
I'm one of the guys.
I'm a slut.
This is how girls get away with hanging out with a bunch of guys without being called a slut. But other women know why they only hang out with guys, and now you do too. All right, and so that is the first full chapter of Womanese, and like I said, guys, there are 625 of these translations in video, audio, and also in ebook form. So whether you're at home or on a go, whatever the case may be, you will always have access to that stuff. And again, if you use promo code PEARL24 for the next 24 hours, we are going to give you 33% off. We are going to slash 33% off of Womanese. And that's all I got on Womanese, Pearl.
Yeah. And guys, Donovan knows his stuff. I'm telling you. Donovan has reacted to thousands of hours. Like, I don't even of content. He's been on Fresh and Fit a million times, and he has a decade of living in Vegas.
Yeah.
So
trust me. Yeah.
Everything
Listen.
Everything that I thought was like, I'm telling you guys, everything I thought in the beginning, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. He was correct. He was right. So you really should get, I really do recommend it, guys. You said it's Pearl24. That's the code.
Yeah. Pearl24,
Okay.
Pearl24. And it's not case sensitive, just PEARL and 24. And you get a massive discount. And so, it's actually, it's a really good deal, and, like I said, I want to be able to put this stuff out into the world. This is sort of my signature course. And it's really information that a lot of men need. Like a lot of men definitely need this information because, and dude, I've had guys, I should have played you my I should have played you my all of the testimonials, man. A lot of the men who have had this thing, dude, I've got scores, dude, dozens of emails, notes, videos, whatever, of them telling me how Womanese has changed their life just because they now know what they're dealing with. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And it's not to get mad at women. It's just to help
No.
you navigate the marketplace. And like even Donovan's in a long, happy, successful relationship.
Absolutely.
This isn't to use, it's not to use women, it's not to take advantage of women. It's just to understand what the fuck we're saying.
And the funny thing is that and this is what I teach guys all the time is that, and I know it's very, very difficult for guys not to have this mentality because I know that dating market is absolutely cruel towards men, but you can have to, how can I put this? Once you can't love women truly unless you understand them. And once you understand them for who and what they are, that's when you can really begin to love them properly. Not idealistically, like our hard drive tells us to do, but it's almost like the red pill is teaching us, and this is unfortunate, but the red pill has taught us that in order to be successful with modern women, we have to go against our masculine instinct and hard drive. We have to do that. To me, that sometimes can be a miserable existence, but like everything in life, practice makes perfect. And if you work at something long enough, it eventually becomes who you are.
I'm going to read there are some questions in the chat for you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Let's
So
go.
they wanted to know what kind of cars you sold.
Oh, I sold Audis.
And
Yep.
they wanted to know where you got the name Donovan Sharp from.
So the name Donovan Sharp. So I used to write for Rouge Valizade.
Mhm.
Long story. I used to write for Return of Kings, and my name for Return of Kings was Sharpshooter. Well, he didn't want us to have mononymous names. He wanted us to have like sort of official names. Like we had guys that had names like Runs on Magic, just crazy stuff like that. And so I decided, my English teacher in high school, her name was Mrs. Sharp. And she was extremely instrumental in teaching me how to write, like the English written word. And one of my best friends in Las Vegas who had all the game, his name was Donovan. And so I figured, okay, Donovan Sharp. That's how I came up with the name Donovan Sharp.
They wanted to ask you, I tell my 22-year-old son all the time not to consider marriage and children until he's in his 30s and focus on building his value in self-respect. What are your thoughts, Donovan?
1000% agreement. I would also tell you this. A man in this day and age should not start to think about a long-term relationship until you are at least 35 years old and have slept with at least 35 women. You can call it you can call it whatever it is you want. And guys, you're going to get hurt. And you don't get to where I am having a great relationship and having a black belt with women if you haven't gone through immense emotional pain. Guys, I have been hurt deeply and badly throughout my life because of women. That is the reason why I have my black belt in women, because I have been hurt many, many times. Understand, you are going to be hurt. Men who try to avoid pain in relationships, guys, you can safeguard. I'm not saying walk right into, I'm not saying to commit to the blue-haired tattooed slut and expect nothing to happen. But you're going to have to understand, no matter how good you are with women, no matter how great your game is, at some point you're going to run up on a woman who not only plays the game better than you do, but a woman who manages to sort of bypass all of your red pill programming. There are multiple women out there like that for men. Understand that she is coming. When that happens, and instead of packing it all in, learn from the experience, lick your wounds, and come back stronger.
They want to know, how did it end up like this? Did women 100 years ago have anything similar to this?
Similar to what? Like feminism?
I don't know, where they can't.
Well,
Carlos, if you have any, and by the way, guys, this is the Audacity chat. If you guys have questions, you have to sign up to the audacitynetwork.com. I read the chat on the website. Normally you have to super chat for YouTubers. Because we're demonetized, you go to the website and you pay once a month and then you get unlimited, whatever you want me to read. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. 100 years, men have always been acutely aware of the true nature of women. Okay. Women, as far back as Adam and Eve, are on autopilot with self-destruction. This doesn't mean they're bad people, but women wield such power with their beauty and their femininity that the creator had to leave off a little something. Okay, if she has absolute power over men for the better part of a decade, we're going to make her, she's going to be self-destructive. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but you have to understand, when women are left to their own devices, when they have total control over anything, they destroy things. This is why every religion, every government, as far back as past the Bible days, the Paleozoic days with the dinosaurs, they had strict parameters on women, because men even back then understood what women were capable of if left to their own devices. No, this doesn't mean that they thought that women were children, but in this day and age, with all of the freedoms women have, women really do act like children. It's almost like children with dynamite. They have they have all this power to wield it, but they have no direction. Men 100, 2,000 years ago understood this very clearly. This is why religions and governments had these parameters and these restrictions on women. And now these days, we understand why.
Do your translations help with understanding female managers?
Absolutely, 100%. Because even when a female is a manager, even women who try to be direct are still going to throw some womanese at you. And guys, I want you to understand, womanese not only helps you in relationships sexually, it helps you with your mother, your sister, your aunts, your cousins, your coworkers, your bosses. And I'm not here to say that all women are like that or all women the same, but guys, listen, man, the hardware might be different, the way she looks, the way she talks, even the way she thinks. The software is all the same. This is not bad, okay? This is just the way it is. Women by nature are not going to be direct, okay? So it is incumbent upon you to read between the lines, the womanese, if you will, and decipher things correctly.
What is the biggest womanese trend that changed after social media became a thing?
Wow. Probably the money thing. Probably the money thing. A lot of women, and you said it yourself. Young, hot girls aren't really looking at the money because they know that they can make their own money. But these young, hot girls, they're not committing to brokies. Okay. So in the end, even though women are capable of making, as much money, if not more money than the average man, women are still looking for stability. Okay. If even a woman that's a millionaire, she's not going to marry a guy who's broke. She wants to marry a guy who's a millionaire. And one of the many things that's changed since, I guess, the advent of feminism and social media is the more status, the more money, the more clout, the more recognition a woman gains, the further she shrinks her pool of potential suitors. Because women don't date down. They don't fuck down. They don't marry down. They marry up. They fuck up. They date up. And so by women acquiring all of this money and status, and I'm a boss babe, they have no idea that they are shrinking the pool of men that they're going to be not only sexually attracted to, but economically attracted to.
Got it. I think that's all the questions in the chat. So
okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching and signing up on the website. Fun. Yeah, this is so fun. And if anyone wants me to read their stuff next time, I could even text Donovan if you have more questions. Yeah,
I'm happy to answer any and all questions.
Come back next time. Can you tell them where they can find you and all of your stuff? Yeah. And then if you wouldn't mind repeating where they can, the link's in the description, guys, for the Womanese course. But if you wanted to repeat what you said earlier too, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. tsracademy.com/Pearl. The link is in Pearl's description. She's got it pinned up in the chat. Again, use promo code PEARL24. That's no spaces. It's not case sensitive. You guys can find me all over the internet on YouTube. Just look for Donovan Sharp, just like the way it's spelled. It's actually youtube.com/Donovan Sharp. Same thing with Rumble, rumble.com/Donovan Sharp. Search for Donovan Sharp on Instagram. I'm actually back on X, which is good. But yeah, go to any social media search engine and just type in Donovan Sharp, SHARPE, and you will find me. Follow, like, and subscribe, guys.
I'm sorry, there's one more question before we go.
Sure. No problem.
How to balance starting to date with school? Is it best to wait till he's out of school to date? For someone with ADHD and emotional deregulation difficulties, relationships till immune?
Yeah, and this is a man that asked this question, correct?
Yeah, it's a man.
Never wait to start to date. You need to get as much experience as possible, as early as possible. The one rule, listen to me, what I'm telling you here. The one thing, and guys, I want to make this very, if you haven't heard anything I've said, you need to listen to this. I made every conceivable mistake with women you could possibly make. Every single one. I've rented homes for women. I bought gifts for women. I've even given money to women. But the reason why I didn't get caught up is for one reason and one reason only. I didn't have any kids. I didn't knock a bitch up. I don't have a bunch of kids running around. And a lot of guys with game, like in their teens and their 20s, a lot of times they get hamstrung because all the girls want them. Inevitably, you're going to be saddled with a bunch of kids. Wrap your dicks, guys. Don't knock her up. Make all the mistakes that you want in the world with women. Just do not have a child with a woman that you are not married to. Don't do it. That's my best advice.
And the last one, it's not a question, but a statement. Women say fuck men, but then they fuck men. Don't listen to what they say, but watch what they do.
Yeah, that is the age. Listen, that is the age-old red pill motto. Do not listen to what women say, watch what they do. And this, again, is why I created Womanese. Because you have to really know what they say versus what they really mean. And a lot of times women will say one thing and do another. And Pearl, you learned this, doing the pregame podcast. They'll say, oh, that guy's an asshole. And I hate the bad boy players. Yet you look in their phone, all of their exes are bad boy players. Very good advice there. Do not listen to what women say. Watch what they do.
Well, thank you so much, Donovan. It's always a pleasure having you on. Any last words for the people?
Yeah, guys, like, subscribe, and share Pearl's videos, man. Absolutely share Pearl's videos. She's been a good friend of mine for a long time. Devin and I, we sort of consider Pearl to sort of be like our surrogate daughter because you call us for advice all the time. But yeah, listen, continue to support Pearl, man. Hopefully she gets monetized here pretty soon. But listen, guys, sign up for those year memberships so that she can give you guys all the tea.
Well, guys, like the video on your way out, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.